Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are back here in the backside of the Signature Garden. We are going to finish up the project that our Power Planter workshop attendees began for us on Saturday. So we are going to finish that up. If you kind of missed that video of the recap of this past Saturday, I want you to check out yesterday's video. I will link it for you so you can go check it out. We did kind of a behind the scenes, what it was like here on this past Saturday, because it was a fantastic day here at the nursery. We had Will's food truck here. We had amazing food for breakfast and lunch all day. And then we had Greg Niewald, who is the owner of Power Planter. He flew down from Illinois to do a workshop for our customers, a free workshop for anybody who wanted to attend, on the history of Power Planter, what makes Power Planter augers different than the other augers on the market. And then our sweet folks got to ask all sorts of questions, and they got to put their hands on the augers and actually drill in our lovely North Carolina clay. And this section is full of rocks and has lots of roots. Greg loves coming to North Carolina because he never knows what kind of soil we're going to throw at him, but his augers handle it like a champ. So give you kind of an overview of where we are and exactly what is happening. So thinking back to that video, and the video a couple before that is where we are extending the Signature Garden, right? We have the formal Signature Garden, that where the fountain is, and those nice, beautiful symmetrical beds. And then as we move away from the formal garden, we're into the more informal, right? Those wooded areas. Jackson, our 15-year-old son, cleared out this hill for us in the late winter, and then we came through just last week and we planted another understory of trees with some Kusa dogwoods and some Japanese maples. So I'm on Saturday doing the workshop because Jerry and I are both former educators, and actually Greg is a former educator too. And we know that the best way to learn is to put your hands on it and just do it, right? That way it really just sinks in. It's not just head knowledge, you actually get practice at it. So when we were doing these workshops, we like for our customers to be able to have that experience of really putting their hands on the drill and getting into the soil. So that way when they get home with their auger, they're not surprised. They have a little experience with it. So we held the workshop here in this area. None of these annuals were here. They planted a good number of them for us. And so after Greg kind of did his little spiel, then they got to come over here and drill in this soil, and they've planted a good little number. We went ahead and laid out, you can tell which ones are planted and which ones are not. And so what we did is we're keeping a really simple design. And first of all, I am loving the butterflies. We have got 2 different butterflies flying around right here, and it is fabulous. Keeping the design really simple because in this area, it gets good morning sun up until like lunchtime, and then it is in the shade for the rest of the day. So we needed some annuals that could do those kind of part sun conditions. So what we went with is the brand new, this is the Mini Me Color Blaze Mini Me Chartreuse. And this is going to be a nice petite coleus, can do sun or shade. Just a solid chartreuse color, really fine leaves on it. It'll get to be about that 18 inches tall, and we're planting them kind of close to each other because by the end of the season, we want it to be like a hedge. And then behind those, one of my all-time favorite plants is the Surefire Red Begonia. So Surefire Red, again, these are wax begonias. These are not your grandmama's begonias. These begonias can do sun or shade. They will get height to them. They will get to be about that 2.5 feet tall. Again, planted them on that closer side to each other because we want to have just an absolute hedge of them together. Your wax begonias will tend to be more rabbit resistant, and so the little critters will leave them alone. Japanese beetles don't like either one of these plants. Extremely low maintenance, extremely versatile. These are not the divas of the garden, but let me tell you, they are some of the highest performers in your garden. I like to keep it simple, sweetie, right? And so we have that Color Blaze Mini Me Chartreuse. We have it here. We have it inside the formal garden, and then we also have it behind us along the creek bank, the nook that we have. So especially when we do those drone shots, you're gonna see this same chartreuse plant repeated throughout the garden. So tying in that cohesiveness of the entire garden. So what the main thing, we did have the 9-inch auger for our friends to try if they wanted to drill with the 9-inch auger, but the main thing that people were really interested in was the 5-inch. And of course we have all of these are the Jenny's Edition 5-inch augers. And they do, and we have them in the 5, 7, and the 9. This is, as Greg said, this is the original prototype of Jenny's auger, because this is a different pink than what we have for retail now. It's a darker pink. So it comes in pink, and then it also comes in the lime green right there. Because you know what? God gave us all these beautiful colors, so let's enjoy those colors. And so what makes this auger and the whole Jenny's Edition augers different is because it has all of those heavy duty components on it that if they wear out over time, which they will because we have such terrible soil here, they're easily replaced. So we have the heavy duty tip, you've got blades in here, and it is, let me tell you, when I say it is compacted with soil right now, you absolutely know it. Yes, absolutely. Is the paint wearing off on the side? It sure is. Does that affect how the auger performs in the garden? Absolutely not. I personally love that the paint is wearing off, because when the customers and the attendees came, there was absolutely no doubt that I use these augers all the time, right? And so there's no need to be upset because some of the paint comes off of it. I mean, whoopee, these are like garden tools. We are using them all the time. This one drill, we've calculated probably over the span that we've had it, has probably dug about 10,000 holes for annuals. So yes, it is going to show some wear and tear, and that is not a big deal, y'all. We are not out here at a fashion shoot. We are real life gardeners getting hot and sweaty and dirty, and our equipment shows it. And honestly, you know what? If I hadn't pointed it out, you probably would have never even known that that paint is coming off. So all of these pieces are replaceable. The flighting is a little bit shorter, so it makes it so much lighter, and it is just a little bit longer, so you're not having to kneel over. Even my 5'2" self, it is great for me, and then Jerry, who's almost 6 feet, it is great for him. So using that auger and having those customers come in here, put their hands on this drill, these augers that we use every single day, they were able to get in here, they were able to see how does that E-clutch work. It was great. So it would cut off on them. Some of them were a little timid, and some of them, man, they just went in there and they went for it. So it was great. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish this project. We both have a 5-inch auger, so that's what we're going to use. We're just going to knock it out, get these babies in the ground. I do have a container of the slow release fertilizer. This area we did amend on Saturday with it. We laid down, I don't know how many bags of the Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix to add some compost in here. 15 or 20, and this is a pretty good size bed. So it wasn't a ton that we added in here. This is not really compact clay red soil, just because of it being close to the creek bank. Over the years, we've had a little bit more sandy components to it, but it has a ton of rocks. So that's why we need those heavy duty augers on it. So we're gonna just knock it out together, get these in the ground, and then we're going to head over across the creek and talk about the design for the 2 entrance beds. Full disclosure, because we keep it real around here, it is Monday morning, and Mondays for us tend to be, it's a little slower, right? Because we've come off the weekend. Sunday is our 1 day off, and so Monday mornings we try to take it a little bit slower. We're a little bit more tired. It takes us a little bit of time to get into the week. So our plan is to plant those entrance beds. We'll see if it happens, but at least we can get over there and get the design knocked out and figure all of that out. So this is step number 1, then over there is step number 2. All right, so enough talking, let's get to work. All right, my friends, so we got the begonias and the coleus in the ground. I'm telling you, using the augers makes all the difference in the world. It was a total of 85 plants. I think it took us maybe 15 minutes real time to get that planted. Of course, Jerry and I were working together. We both had an auger, but I mean, if you were doing it by hand, good gosh. And we have gotten some really nice, delicious rain the past couple of days. It did not rain any yesterday, but because this is where we were planting, is at the base of the hill, it was pretty goopy. I mean, my shoes have got some goop, some mud on them. And so my point is, by using that auger, it still made the soil nice and fluffy, as opposed if we were using like trials or a shovel, then we would have had clods. So it really does help a ton. Once we got them planted, Jerry went back with the slow release and just kind of tossed that out amongst them. When we were creating the bed last week, he's got to come back and go ahead and get rid of the grass that is just on the edge. Of course, we use that bed edger, and so you can see it. We've got some grass right here, so we'll need to get rid of that so that it does not, you know, continue to grow and go into the flower beds. Also, we will go ahead and get some mulch down between these plants. Three main reasons, of course. One, it looks nice. Two, it will help with erosion, because not that we did get some good rain, but there were some little rivers through here, nothing bad, but you could see where the water had kind of run a little bit through here. So of course that will help a ton. We do have mulch already laid back here, so having it in here amongst the annuals will help a lot. And then it'll help with the weed control, right? People ask all the time, how do we control weeds? Well, if you can put down some nice thick mulch, that certainly helps them, stop them from germinating in the first place. And then two, if you do get them, you can pull them out easier. So mulching definitely helps. So we will come back, probably gonna let this dry up just a little bit, because like I said, it is pretty goopy and in there. So great for the annuals, because they've got lots of water at their resources, at their roots, and so they're gonna be good to go. Just gonna wait a little bit on that. But having this combination of these annuals that will thrive, whether it's in shade or sun or somewhere in between, y'all, choosing the right plants makes all the difference. Gardening can be very intimidating if you're new to it, but that's why we do these videos, is so that we can educate you and inform you and introduce you to plants like this that are not divas in the garden, that are not scary. You're gonna have great success with these guys, and so that's why we do these videos for you. I definitely have divas in other parts of my garden, but I don't have to have a diva everywhere, right? The divas in certain areas are well worth it, but here we're gonna keep it simple, sweetie, and I guarantee you the results are going to be absolutely stunning. It's just gonna take a couple of weeks for this to begin to fill in. Speaking of just a couple of weeks, I wanna give you an update on the plants, the whole bed garden that we installed. It was 2 weeks, it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow that we planted this. Oh, and by the way, yeah, we're not gonna do the entrance beds today. Jerry and I were like, you know what? There is always tomorrow. We are not gonna kill ourselves today, so we're gonna do a quick little garden tour right here, and we're just gonna say, you know what, entrance beds, you get to wait another day. So this is the garden that we planted 2 weeks ago. This is not on irrigation, so there's not one drop of irrigation in here. We were blessed with the timing that we were able to get some good rain, and you can see that everybody is nice and perky. Obviously somebody was walking through here because my little detector is going off. So what we have here, just as a quick little recap, the center stage in this part is the Midnight Express redbud. So redbuds are native trees for us here in the southeast. Midnight Express is a cultivar from Proven Winners. Does a beautiful burgundy leaves to it, nice heart-shaped. You can see this sweet little new baby right here is nice and shiny, a beautiful, beautiful leaf on that. And so she has already bloomed, and so she is done. Brenna's in there. Brenna, come on. And so this is the star of the show right here. So what we did is underneath it, this is all the same hydrangea. I believe there was 15 of them. We had been holding on to these. These are Tough Stuff hydrangeas. These are Great Mountain hydrangeas. They will be lace caps. They are covered in buds. They are going to be absolutely spectacular. They are planted close to each other because we want to have a huge hedge. We want to look like one mass hedge of hydrangeas right here. So that's why we planted them so close to each other. Mountain hydrangeas, of course, are those beautiful lace caps. They are so tough, hence its name, Tough Stuff. This is the same hydrangea that my mama has along her driveway. She has 3 of them. Basically, they will get to be about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. Stunning. They are pH dependent, so that means based on your soil's pH level, they will vary in color. Now, mama on her plant literally has flowers. Some of them are pink, some of them are blue, some of them are purple, on the same flower, on the same plant. So it is spectacular. These are going to be spectacular. Very excited to have them in here. And then, of course, we go ahead and add in those annuals, right? So we have the double up pink begonias. Again, the double ups are like the surefires. They can do sun, they can do shade, they can do anything in between. They're just a different shape. They have that nice mounded habit to them. Those little small, their flowers are smaller, but they're more prolific and they cover the plant. So, you know, in a month, 6 weeks, you're not gonna be able to see much soil here. And then, remember I talked about that mini-me chartreuse again? Have it in kind of a nice little triangle pattern right here. Will fill completely in and be gorgeous. Of course, we want to balance that out. Since the tree is the center, coleus in the middle, same begonia on each side. And then throughout the entire bed in the back, we have the Senorita Blanca Cleome. That is that gorgeous white Cleome. You can see that it's a little yellow, which tells me it needs food, right? So it's not a real dark green. So I honestly do not remember if we put slow release fertilizer in here. I don't think we did because I don't see any. So that tells me that these plants need food. If they were nice, rich, dark green, then they would be fine, not a problem. They've been having enough water, so that's not an issue. So when you see those light green leaves, it says, feed me, I need food, food, food. So I've got some more fertilizer in the back of Johnny so I can feed them before I leave. And then, so excited, we have the Rocksteady Vitex. This was a new addition. This is a chased tree, right? So the Rocksteady is a new introduction from our friends at the Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. This is a great small tree. It's technically a shrub, small tree that will have that habit, if you're familiar with like a crepe myrtle, but a petite crepe myrtle. I think it was 10 to 12 feet tall, 6 feet wide, somewhere in those range. But it is a great pollinator magnet. Basically, before I knew what a chase tree was, I thought it looked like a giant butterfly bush tree, but it's not. Really pretty lavender blue flowers on it. Your pollinators go nuts over it. Your butterflies love it. Rocksteady will bloom about 4 weeks longer than your traditional Vitexes. So that's why we added it here. And then of course, right, more annuals. Sun Patience. Gotta love some Sun Patience. These are happy, they're taking off, they're doing really well. The rockin' playing the blues salvia is planted on both sides here of this Aphrodite sweet shrub. She's blooming. So this is another native shrub. Y'all look at that gorgeousness. Is it not stunning? Beautiful burgundy maroon flowers that are going to be covering this. It is a relatively fast grower. She survived Hurricane Helene, praise the Lord, and so she is doing well. She will get some height to her. She'll get some, I think I want to say like 8 feet tall, 6 feet wide, somewhere in that range. So she's kind of the star of the show. And then the Winecraft Black Smoke Bush. This too was a new introduction. It is getting ready to put on its smoky habit. Beautiful. And so this will be about a 6x6 size on that one as well. And then of course having the colors, right? So you've got the Winecraft Black with that Midnight Express Red Bud, those nice dark colors, and then you're going to have the green of the Aphrodite with kind of that blue green of the Rocksteady Vitex. And so that will be a nice kind of combination yeah, and beautiful colors and textures here in the garden. Went ahead and did all the Senorita Blancas all the way around, and you can see that these Senorita Blancas, see how much darker they are than those ones that were right there on the creek. So the foliage is darker, so these have good food. We just need to go feed those ones on the back side of the creek. So all of that is doing well. Going back over here kind of to the pond, because we've talked about this, I don't know, the last 6 months or so, maybe longer than that, about the plans that we have for the pond. A lot of people don't even know that we have the pond because until the Signature Garden was here, people really didn't come back this far. And it is a pond, so it's low, so it doesn't really stick out. We don't have a waterfall yet. We don't have any kind of sprinkler in there, fountain in it yet, anything like that. But this is a spring-fed pond. Like, the pond is here out of absolute necessity. When my daddy farmed this land, when I was in, middle school, high school, college, he had to run drain pipe from where the pond is, because the pond wasn't here, and then pipe that water out. Those pipes had gotten clogged, and so when Jerry and I took over the land, this entire bottom area, like everywhere that the garden center is, was kind of a sticky, swampy, goopy mess, right? And that was because the spring was constantly putting water out. The pond never goes down. It is a very happy spring, and it keeps the pond level at this year round, for year after year after year. It's a clay bottom. There's no liner in it. It is what it is. And right now it's in, it's nothing really attractive to look at. All right, y'all, I don't know if you can see it. I can't get too terribly close, but there's a snapping turtle that just surfaced from the pond. And so, yeah, when I say this is a natural pond, it is a natural pond, my friend. We have got snapping turtles in there. Let's see if I can try to point. I hope that the camera he's somewhere like right in here. Obviously, snapping turtles are very camouflaged. I will try to very slowly, let's see if I can, oh, nope, he gone. So yeah, that was fun. So hopefully, I hope the camera was able to pick up Mr. Snapping Turtle in here. That is another reason why we don't stock the pond with any kind of fish, is because I'm like, why am I going to stock the pond? I am just going to be literally throwing my money away to feed the snapping turtles and the herons that we have, the great blue herons that come and visit us. So this is a really fun area that we definitely have plans on expanding. As I always say, it's a little thing called time and energy, and other fires start to go off and implode and explode, and sometimes projects just get pushed to the back. But the plan is that after we have our Creekside Signature experience, which is at the end of June, that's when we're going to start kind of construction on the pond. Obviously, but we don't want to do that before the Signature experience, because this will destroy the grass. Like, it's going to be a hot mess back here once we begin construction on the pond. So what we're playing around with, and this is literally for years and years and years, has been a dream of ours. One, to develop these gardens like we're doing now. This just makes my heart so happy to be starting on this hill and creating that beautiful woodland garden. If you're familiar with the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Smoky Mountains, that chain of mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, and that goes all over the eastern seaboard of, the United States. Jerry and I both went to school in the mountains, and it holds a very special, dear spot in our hearts, and that's what I envision in this area. So when you go like on the Blue Ridge Parkway and you stop and you go for a hike or something, that's what I want this to look like. And you know that there are streams and rivers and waterfalls that come all through those mountains. And so our goal, our big dream, is that we will be able to install a waterfall that somewhere in this region, right? I don't know exactly where that's going to be. Somewhere in this region that we will have a waterfall that comes down off the hill and then ends up in the pond. We want to create it so that it looks very, very natural, so that if you didn't know, you're like, oh my gosh, there's a stream, there's a spring coming out of the side of the hill, and it's creating this waterfall into the pond. So we want it to look like it absolutely 100% could be here and not out of place, right? So we have some things churning that we're working on, but that would not take place anywhere before this summer. That is why we're not planting anything in this region. We have a nice big beech tree right here. We did that Japanese maple, so we're not going to plant anything further over here because of that possibility of the construction and all the equipment and all that's going to come in here. And then of course with that, once we do the pond and kind of revamp, because we've got so many, all of these rocks around the pond are from here. Like, we did not buy these rocks, they are from here. But over time, they have slid down into the pond. So we'll have to drain the pond for a little bit of the time, pull these rocks back up, rework the bank of it, and then the idea is that these are all gardens. So we'll have plants all around the pond that then leads up to the waterfall, leads up to the hill. There is that road that cuts the hill, and so it's a beautiful kind of a walking path through here. So yeah, I mean, we certainly do not lack dreams, I will say that. But like I said, that little thing called time. If I could just pause time and work, then it would be great. And of course, energy. Have not yet discovered the fountain of youth or the unlimited supply of energy. I am certainly not, 4 anymore with boundless energy. Quick little update here. This bed right now, y'all, is just looking unbelievable here at the Signature Garden. We have got this beautiful dianthus. This is the funky fuchsia dianthus. It's that beautiful kind of that carnation type. It's on the end of its bloom. We had those throughout on all of the beds, and only 2 of them survived. So they're beautiful, but they're probably going to get dug up and relocated, so that way the beds have some continuity. And then look at the Boom Chocolata geraniums. I mean, are they not unbelievable? Gorgeous. And then those are double play doozy spireas. Look at that. The doozies have begun to bloom. Look at that. Beautiful raspberry, and then all of these are buds, so then they will, of course, go ahead and be happy. And then the Baptisia. This is pink lemonade. Pink lemonade gets its name because, of course, it has pink and yellow all on the same stalk. A beautiful Baptisia. Love this one. And then my clematis. The clematis needs some support. So this is the Stand By Me pink clematis. She is so fun. She reminds me of like a little fairy hat, like a cute little garden fairy and the little hats they wear. So she's gotten tall, obviously, and then the rains came and it flopped her. So we do need to come in here and give it some support so that it is upright. This is a clematis that's not it's not your traditional clematis. It is more of that bush clematis. So it's only gonna be, I say only, in that 2.5, 3 foot range. And she's gorgeous. She just needs some support. And really what I'm thinking too is it's too late to do it this year, but almost like a dahlia support so that she could grow through it and not flop over. But my gosh, is she not just the cutest little thing you ever did see? I love it. Absolutely love it. And then, let's see, I was smelling something really good. I'm not sure what that fragrance is coming from. Daylilies are doing great. Abelias, this is Mucho Gusto. Love this Abelia. Great evergreen shrub, doing really well. And we've got the phlox. The name just Opening Act, thank you. Opening Act is doing well. The Achillea, this is the Firefly Sunshine. She is getting ready to bloom. The Quick Fire Fab Hydrangea, she is filling out quite nicely. And then the Pink Profusion Salvias, lovely. Pillow Talk Gardenias, they are not blooming yet, but they are covered in buds. And you know me, that makes me very happy to see my gardenias nice and happy and ready to go, full of buds. And look how nice the hibiscus looks. This is the Valentine's Crush, beautiful red, nice, gorgeous habit on it, very upright. And then the Monarda. This is the Lavender Taffeta. She is getting ready to bloom. She has got buds all over her, so it's going to be beautiful. Pollinators are going to go absolutely nuts over this entire bed with all of these things in here. So that's just one of the beds. Everybody else is doing great. The annual beds that we planted, see, more of that mini-me chartreuse, it's right there. They are doing well. Everybody's doing well. We turn the fountain off when we're not open, so that's why that is off. But yeah, all the gardens, they're doing really well. Everybody is filling out. Yes, there's some little things here and there we need to do. I need to replant the aquapots. Yeah, just certain things. But overall, my gosh, this is only the second summer for the garden. So if you think, okay, well, you know, 3 summers ago, this was not here. So that's kind of fun to think of it that way. 3 summers ago, nothing was here. Oh, okay, there's a turtle again. Okay, so they can be very skittish. So he kind of looks like a rock. He's right here. His head's up. We're gonna see if I can get him. Nope. They're skittish little turtles. Well, they're not little, they're huge, but it's the alligator snapping turtle. It's funny though, if you're on the lawnmower, he could care less. You can zoom by him back and forth, but as soon as you start walking, nope, he's out. All right, my friends, it's a Monday. We're calling it quits. I think Jerry and I might go get some lunch together. We're gonna have a date lunch today, but y'all have fun. I hear people, I just read somebody today, they're in Pennsylvania. Spring has sprung in Pennsylvania. I saw somebody in Maine that said the temperatures are changing in Maine, so they're very happy. So it seems that, watching my sweet friends in Michigan, Tracy of Plaid and Poppies, her tulips are gorgeous. So warmer temperatures are coming even to Western Michigan. So I think it's coming to everybody. So really fun. Welcome to gardening in the spring, all of my friends who were just later than us, and my people who were in the South, deeper than me. I'm sure you're already sweating. You're gonna be months ahead of us here, and so it is all a good time. So we're gonna be gardening together, y'all. Maybe different stages, but we're all gonna be gardening together. Lots and lots of fun. As always, if you have found this fun, informative, and inspirational, please like and subscribe. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do every single week. We're here 5 days a week, y'all. But we appreciate you. We love you. Have fun in your garden. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.